Hey you guys, and welcome to my very first Birth Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about questions for care providers. Now, during your pregnancy and the weeks leading up to birth, there are going to be lots and lots of questions that you need to ask your care provider. So many, in fact, that there's no way I could ever do enough Birth Tip Tuesdays to cover those. So I suggest doing a birth class, but I do want to talk to you about ways to help you remember to ask your care provider questions. So if you are taking a birth class, it's always really handy to take notes and keep a designated area for a running list of questions. That way when you go to your care provider, you can take your notes with you and ask those questions at that point in time. Also, if you have a planner, like I just have a cheap little planner I got at Walmart for a few bucks, and I like to go to the specific day of my appointment. For example, this is January 2015, so nothing there at this point. But I like to go on that date, whatever the date is, and write out those questions there, and then take that. And when you visit with your care provider, then you've got all your questions right there so that you can ask them. If you're really bad about forgetting stuff in the car, because I can be that way too at times, then most phones, smartphones now, have apps where you can leave notes for yourself, or maybe you could email them to yourself. So they're all right there in your cell phone. So whenever your doctor says, or your midwife says, do you have any questions for me? You can say, oh yes, let me pull those up and ask you these questions. Like I said, ask your care provider lots and lots of questions. Every mom is different, their expectations, their experiences, their desires. All women are different in what they're wanting, and all care providers are different as well in the way that they usually practice. So, very important to ask questions. You just have to make sure you take the questions in. Bye you guys, we'll see you next week.